come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Give praises to Jehovah, from whom all blessings, blessing and knowledge will flow. Blessing and knowledge will flow. The Village Talk Show, dedicating to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life, helping each one of us in realizing our dream at any age, any point, starting from today, day. Success. Come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Success is not spoken, it is done. Success is done. Come on now. The Village Talk Show. Talk Show. The Village Talk Show.
Hey.
I ordered
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Village Radio Talk Show. Enjoying another Thursday with all of you, where we're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education in realizing our dreams at any age, any point, starting from today. So, how you doing, Doc? How are you?
I am doing great seeing you this evening. How are you? That's the key thing.
I am doing great. I'm doing great. You know what? I'm excited. And thank you. I'm Roger Daly. I'm your host. Joined with us by our co-host, Dr. Joanne Bryan. Our other co-host, Dr. John Sampson, will not be with us today. So, but I'm excited to be with all of you for today. I'm excited because I have a burst of energy. So I want to utilize that energy. Last week, ladies and gentlemen, after the show, I passed out. Oof! I went to sleep immediately after the show. So today, I'm just real excited to be here and to spend some time with each of you. And thank you, villagers, for tuning in, for creating a moment of excitement and a moment of glee. So thank all of you, and that's it. I'm interested to know what people are doing for their Christmas, their Hanukkah, their Kwanzaa. Anybody? Are you going away? Are you doing any event, anything like that? What are your plans are for this holiday season? And what do you celebrate, Dr. Ray?
Well, I celebrate Christmas. I am Christian. I do celebrate and recognize that's the key thing. Christ is supposed to signify. It's not the exact time, but we do recognize Christ all the time. But taking that time to give him an extra special shout out and just spend time with family. Not sure. I really want to sleep, so I am sleep deprived, ladies and gentlemen. I am. I am one that will be up at 3 o'clock in the morning, even if I go to bed at 11. So I'm looking forward to trying to force myself to sleep past 4 o'clock. So and spending time with family.
Are you cooking?
Am I cooking? Well, maybe. It depends how I feel.
Oh,
Depends how I feel.
well, if you are cooking, I love my tummy.
Okay,
So
what you want? What you want?
you know what I always want.
What, black rice?
Ah, ah. Don't bring
So
me a
what
whole
else you want?
pan. But
You know
don't bring me.
what?
Wait, hold on. But if you're making
Uh-huh.
black rice, don't bring me a whole pan. I don't want it wasted. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
bring me a medium-sized bowl so I can have like enough for me to have 3 servings, but no more than 3 servings.
Mhm. Okay.
All
So
right.
what meat? What meat? You didn't say what meat.
I don't care about the meat. I don't care about the meat. All right. Okay.
All right. You never know. Might happen. If I get a burst of energy, I'll be up for it. Maybe I'll even bake. I haven't
Okay.
done that in a while, so maybe I'll
Okay.
make some cookies and some cake. But oh, you can't have any. I totally forgot. One thing I haven't made in a while:
Is what?
tofu cheesecake.
Tofu.
Tofu.
Who eats tofu cheesecake? What is
Let
that?
me tell you something.
That's
Tofu
on
cheese.
odd, man.
No. Seriously, a lot of vegans, and I actually. So you might be able to have that.
Tofu cheesecake. Man, get out of here with that.
Listen, it's good for you.
Put some real cheesecake in
I
that
don't like
cheesecake.
real cheesecake.
Then don't bring it up. Crap.
So that's that.
All right.
And how you gonna be celebrating your holiday?
Um. A lot of fuss and fighting.
What?
A lot of fuss and fighting with my family. Um. Playing some dominoes.
Oh
Arg-
yeah.
Arguing about politics.
Mm,
Watching some football. Watch some basketball. You know,
okay.
the normal stuff.
Okay.
Played some played some ludi. You know. Uh.
The Ludi is the Jamaican
Yes.
national. Yes.
I don't know if about national, but we like to play we like to play dominoes and ludi and cards. So fussing and fighting with them. Who's better at ludi? Who's worse?
Mm,
Who's gonna win? But I'm gonna win. You know why I'm
of
gonna win?
course.
Wanna
Why?
hear why?
Because you gotta bribe them.
No, because I always win.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if anybody out there think they're better at ludi than me, just try. So that's what I'm gonna. Um, I
Wait,
see.
what's your shirt say? Does it say bless?
No, it's
Oh, Bonnie's. Bonnie's. Okay, okay. All
my
right. Okay.
my son's baseball shirt.
His
Um,
number one fan.
yeah.
Paul Cars. Ah,
What did Paul say? He says he's better.
I'm
All right,
better. Oh, you
all
got
right, Paul.
competition, my friend.
Yeah, Paul. Whatever you say, bring it on, my brother. Bring it on.
I'm sorry. Monet, good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Right. Thank you to all the villagers. Right. Let's get to it. The number one hot topic is
What's
going
that?
on in our schools. Safety. Um, Safety is a big deal in our schools, and it's very disappointing to you know to obtain reports. Right.
Hmm.
So which is interesting, right? So police confiscated 64 weapons from schools from June 1st to December 10th, and nearly 107% increase from the same time frame in 2022. So 1 year before. But one of the things interesting about that data, people don't realize that from July 1st to August 11th is summer school, and there's no school for 3 weeks. Uh, from the second week in August um, to to um, to the first week in September. So literally, this data is
You,
primarily
I'm
September,
stunned.
November, and 1 week in December. So um,
Look. You got it before. It's gonna interrupt you. Paul said he's training Marcia for you.
what was it? Marcia. Yeah, good luck. I'm not even listening to it. I'm not
But you
even
know what? Let's go through the records, because what I'm seeing has I, I have to breathe. I'm breathing because I'm looking at this report, and it's making me very, very nervous. So I attended a meeting this week at my child's school to hear, and I was speaking to you, Roderick, about that. Tell me if it's true or not about the one being told that there's only one portable scanner in the city. So if there is an incident that occurred or happened today, that one scanner is going to travel from here. And if there's two incidents, they're going to share. Okay, I'm going to scan today at this school and I scan tomorrow at another school. That's literally what happened this week and last week.
you know, they list Midwood and um, Morrow as the top two schools with the most weapon recovery.
Midwood, which is so.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you know what? You know why I smile about this data? Um, I'm not 100% certain that Midwood is a scanning school.
Both
So
of
they
them are not. Both of
right.
them are not.
So what they probably did was they did a spot check,
Mm-hmm.
right? They did a spot check, and at the spot check they discovered the knives. I'm 100% certain that if
Mm-hmm.
they did a spot check at um, uh, Brooklyn Tech, Stuyvesant, Bronx Science, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of those
Scanning schools.
non-scanning school,
Mm-hmm.
um, right? You'll find a lot more weapons. You're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna find you're not gonna find a lot of weapons uh, um, at scanning school. What you find, for example, when you find weapons, a lot of weapons are like kids' work last night. They didn't clear up their bags, and because they didn't clear up their bag, they'll come to school or they're going to work today, and they have to they they need a weapon. Like some of them work in restaurants and kitchen, or they go to. I had a few of those, a lot of those incidents. Um, so knives for protection wasn't very common in scanning schools.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to find primarily um, these
Pepper
weapons,
sprays. Pepper sprays.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
in the schools that don't scan.
Yeah.
Right, that's where you're going to find them because kids know that they're not going to be searched.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Norris said blessings. Up, up, big bro.
hey,
Norris said.
Wagwan Chucky, right? And so, you know,
Yeah, doing pop up scanning is so important. Like my daughter mentioned that they had a pop up scanning yesterday, which they sent, and there's supposed to be a report. So I'm waiting to hear what happened. But they found brass knuckles.
yeah,
Plenty of people had pepper sprays. Carrying the knives. The kids aren't feeling safe.
yeah.
Traveling on the train, they're
So
not feeling safe.
I want to explain to some parents, right? You
Hmm.
have um, 5 different infractions. So level 5 would be guns, knives, brass knuckles, or level 4 and 5, razor. So you know, knife in a belt, um, right? Those
So
are
when they find these things, what happened? Do the kids get suspended, arrested? What?
so
What happened?
I haven't seen the chancellor's regulation recently,
Hmm.
but if you bring those things to school, it's an automatic suspension.
Hmm.
So it's an automatic. minimum 10-day suspension from school if you're found with any of those things. Now it then depends, right? Is it the first time the kid carries it?
Mhm.
Um,
So Paul wrote, every time I go to South Shore, they have a scanner. That
yes,
might be a
because
scanning school.
South Shore is a scan. Is South Shore is a scanning school.
Madison is a scanning school. Erasmus is a scanning school.
South Shore, Erasmus, Prospect, Tilden, Wingate, um, in the immediate central Brooklyn area, they're scanning schools.
Mhm.
New Utrecht, FDR, they're scanning schools. So you find, so it depends. Is it the first time the child has a weapon?
Mhm.
Is it a good reason for having the weapon?
Mhm.
Um, as I suggested before, the child worked last night. The father put the thing in his older brother, younger brother uses the book bag, could go to school, they share in a book bag, and the older brother forgot to clean out the bag
Mhm.
and left the weapon in there. Those are, though they're plausible reasons, and so generally that's like um, a 5-day or 10-day suspension. What parents need to do if the child is found with a weapon it is not fight it. It's just plead no contest, because if the child has a weapon, so what some parents are, they want to argue it out. Oh, but the kid was justified. And Dr. Bryant, did your son have a weapon in his bag? It's a simple yes no question. Yes.
That's
So
it. Yeah.
it's even though we understand the explanation. So for me, Dr. Bryant and Dr. Sampson are having a fight, and you bring a weapon to school, right? Now that changes um, why you have the weapon, right? So it
Mhm.
changes the amount of days of suspension I would ask for. Um,
Mhm. Remind him that I've been beating him in dominoes for over 3 decades.
bring it on, Chuck Star. Bring it
Here's the
on.
next one. Up top, Rudy. That's
Yes, yes. Thank you, Reds. Right, bring it on, Chuck Star. Come play some
so
cross stick.
Stephen doesn't even hear that, right? He's asking for competition in dominoes.
Yeah, right. Um, So parents got to be careful about that, and in setting up the argument, it doesn't matter, right? It
Mhm.
doesn't matter.
Mhm.
The kid had a fight yesterday. Comes with a weapon today, right? One clearly connects to the other. That's a
Mhm.
problem, right? So parents got to be careful. You got to talk to your kids, and the suspension, especially the superintendent suspension,
Mhm.
is very big on your record.
Oh
So that
boy.
that kind of follows you, right? It kind of follows you, because a school may ask for your discipline record. As they have the right to ask.
Mhm.
And if you're transferring school, going to a different program, applying for a scholarship, those kind of things they can ask, right? They can ask for it. Um, Tottenville and Norman Thomas High School have had the most incidents regarding weapon. They have 8 each um,
Mhm.
during that same July to December time period. Uh, and that's actually very serious. So again, to explain to parents, um, when they talk about those crimes, you're talking about level 4 and 5 crimes. So level 4 and 5 is
Yes.
using a knife, using a brass knuckle, active group violence,
Mhm.
hitting a teacher, right? Um,
Mhm.
all of those are a teacher or a staff, right? An adult, right?
Mhm.
Those are level 5, and those come automatically 10-day suspension, and then can be more depending on how egregious the behavior um, was.
So the only thing that if weapon is found, then it's suspension. But if somebody get hurt or injured with the weapon with intention to harm, Then it's suspension and arrest. Is that it?
Well, yes. Even if there was no harm with the
Hmm.
weapon, you can still be arrested.
Like what? A
You
gun, right?
arrested if you bring a knife to school at a certain size.
Hmm.
Kid brings a knife at a certain size, the kid can be arrested for
Really?
having. Yes, and be given the summons. It depends. It totally depends on what the child's um what's the
Reason?
what's the story behind having the knife.
Hmm. Hmm.
What's the child's record, right? What does it look like? If you bring a gun, it's an automatic arrest
For the child.
for the child. It's automatic.
Remember the child who had shot the
What?
teacher. The child who had attacked the teacher, didn't like the teacher. Was it earlier this year? I think he had shot the. Was he? Yeah.
So in New
The
York City,
mom
in New
got
York City,
arrested for that. I think it was in Virginia.
no, yeah, but that's still the 6-year-old.
Uh-huh.
Um, that's I'm not talking about. I'm not sure of all of the United States laws.
Hmm.
However, if you bring a gun to school, is an automatic arrest
For the child.
for the child.
Now, do
Going
they go
after
back?
going after the parents,
Uh-huh.
that's not the school is not responsible for that.
Okay.
That's the outside law,
Okay.
right? Agree,
Reading Chris.
right? So it's the outside law that determines what actions will be taken
Okay.
with the child and with the parent. But if
Okay.
you come with a gun, you're automatically arrested and you're gonna go to prison. You're gonna go whatever they call the holding cell. Your parents gonna have to come get you, and depending on whether or not it's loaded, whether or not it's this, whether or not it's that, um, it increases the liability of this child or of the
Okay.
at this point the perpetrator, right? But they're still getting suspended.
Right.
So if the child has a loaded weapon, a loaded gun, and the child is of a certain age, the child will get 60 days in prison. I mean, suspension or 180 days, 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
uh, expulsion. But it could be concurrent with while he's in jail. But he,
180 days in jail, a child.
yes, if you have a loaded gun and you bring it
Mhm.
to school, you are getting arrested, and you can spend time in prison. Once you bring a weapon to school, you can be arrested. Period. No matter what the weapon is, even a razor blade, you can be arrested. I doubt they would arrest you for pepper spray.
Mm.
Even
And,
certain,
and
even
that has
certain,
been very, very commonly found, especially with the children taking the train.
yeah. Even if the child, like certain drugs, are not, you can get arrested for the drugs. So if you bring an opioid to school, right? That uh, uh, consider drugs that are considered contraband, you can be arrested. If you have uh, too much weed on you,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can be suspended,
Okay.
right? But let's say you have distribution to sell, or they find you selling it, you're gonna get arrested. Not only suspended, but you're gonna get arrested, right?
Wow.
Once they can prove that you have it and you're selling drugs on the school premises. Because remember, selling marijuana, smoking marijuana, is illegal on school premises,
Hmm.
right? Even for an adult, right? Even for an adult. I mean, the law is a little bit more lax with the marijuana. That's why a lot of kids um, smoke up, but you know, it's still illegal in the school.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So kids have to, and parents have to be careful with that. Um, kids think that sometimes kids think that sometimes they're underage and they're not going to get
Yes.
penalties,
Yeah.
and that's not true. That's absolutely not true. They will get very stiff penalties for
Mm-hmm.
certain activities, and um, they'll get jail time for a lot of that. They'll go to juvie, especially if you're a repeat offender, and also where they send you for your suspension as well. Some kids, they will send them to some really, really, really. I know I had a kid that was suspended, and because of his behavior, and when he was told where he was going for the suspension center, he almost wet his pants because he knew the center and knew exactly uh, what he was walking into. And he's like, Mr. Daly, can you change this? Can you do this? Can you do that? And we tried to accommodate, but
Mm-hmm.
he had to learn from his actions. Um,
Yeah.
of other violent crimes that happen in school: homicide, rape,
And
right, robbery, assault.
I'm concerned. I'm very concerned about this.
Well, okay, so let me go back. Let me go.
Okay. Yeah, when it says homicide, rape,
Wait,
assault, burglary, grand larceny, auto. What?
let me go back a little bit. You are easily scared. You look at the number and you're stunned by the number. But let's get realistic, right? Let's get realistic.
Mm-hmm.
You find 64 weapons up
Mm-hmm.
107%, and that sounds great, right? So that means that last year you had 31 weapons during that time, right? So um, around there, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have 1,800 schools in New York City,
Mm-hmm.
and approximately 1,300 of them are middle and high school. Because that's where most of this data come from, right?
Right.
Middle and high school, right? And in 1,300 schools, you have less than one weapon per school. On
Okay.
average, less than one weapon per school. So for a person like you look at this number, you're like, oh my God. For a person like me, I'm like, no, I don't want any weapon in school. But if I'm having less than one weapon in a 6-month period in school, in my school, less than one in a 6-month period, think about that. And the only reason why they found the ones at Morrow is because after the stabbing, they did a quote unquote
Reverse scan. Reverse scan. Yeah.
right. So they wouldn't have found the numbers. That 13 would not. That 64. You take away 13, they wouldn't have found it.
Mm.
So think about it. So now it would have been 50 something. And Midwood, they probably did it too because for the same reason, right? So if you think about it, it's really on par. Now, I'm telling you, if you search Stuyvesant, search Brooklyn Tech,
Mm-hmm.
that number would increase at least 30%.
Mm.
Leon Goldstein. And then you actually also have to ask yourself, what is the racial makeup of the students who are carrying these weapons? Most of them are black and brown kids. At least that's what I've encountered. When I go to the suspension center, that's who I'm seeing. Right? And I would go to the suspension center, 5 or 6 times a month. By the way, the suspension center is where you have to go when you have a case. And I'm the person that represents the DOE. And I'm seeing our black kids. Our black kids are responsible for the most violence in our school system. Our white kids are responsible for a lot of the drugs, but not the violence. So why, if we ourselves are violent, why are we shocked that our kids are violent? Kids don't do what you tell them. Kids do what you do. They mimic your work. So if you're violent to them, they're violent to other people.
Mm.
So you could tell a kid you can't do this in the school and blah blah blah. Poof. Well, what do you think you're teaching your kid? You're teaching your kid to be violent. And I'm not telling you to tell a kid to be a punk, but there's a difference between telling your kid not to be a punk and telling your kid to behave in a violent manner. Right? It's two different things. So, and so I'm sorry.
the bigger issue with looking at this, the weapon carrying. Why are they carrying a weapon, and why are they not feeling safe? So they must not feel safe in order for them to carry weapons. And if they're traveling by public transportation, then they truly don't feel safe.
So
and here's my pushback on that. As we're increasing everything, the tolls and all these wonderful things, and jump on the transit, people should feel safe getting on public transportation as much as we're increasing everything for people to get on public transportation, but they don't feel safe if they are commuting. That's
so what I'm saying to you is that people don't feel safe because of falsehood.
Falsehood?
Yes, it's falsehood.
Okay, let's think about public transportation.
No, it's all falsehood.
It's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
I'm gonna tell you why it's falsehood.
Okay, let's hear this.
You have more than 4 million people
Mm-hmm.
who take public transportation every day.
Mm-hmm.
You have less than 10 incidents of violent crime. I'm not talking about pickpocket.
Of what you hear. Oh, no. What's reported?
No. You have less than 10 incidents per day.
I disagree.
Okay, I want you to look it up. Andre, look up how many violent acts
that's reported. That's the thing. That's reported.
Okay, you can only go by. You can't assume anything from what's not reported. There's nothing you can assume from what's not reported, because if you assume anything, that number, right? That number can be this large, or it can be this small. You can't go by what's not reported. You only can go by what is reported.
Some people don't report. And
it doesn't matter.
Listen, because they're afraid that the perpetrator will come and attack.
Again, it doesn't matter why. The why doesn't matter. Though the why might be important, it doesn't matter. Because if you don't have a data point to go from, it doesn't matter what somebody believes is happening. I can't be bothered. I'm afraid of retribution. I don't have time. Right? I got to get to work. I got to go home. All of those things don't matter.
Thank you, Empress. Hey, John.
Hey, what's up, Doc?
Reality, Andre, did you look up that number for me? What were the total incidents on the
railroad?
Looking
it up. And thank you, Empress, for writing. Doc is right. Some people are too afraid to report crimes on public transportation.
Let me say it again. I am not disagreeing that there are acts on the train that are not reported, on the buses that are not reported. I am not disagreeing.
But you said
what I am saying is that they don't count. And the reason why they don't count, because there's no data point to prove that something happened.
So, John, let me bring you up to speed. Roderick and I are discussing weapons that's found in schools.
Right.
The light was good, but I guess, okay. Weapon that's found in school, and I said kids aren't feeling safe. They're not feeling safe, and that's the reason why sometimes they carry weapons to go to school. Roderick stated that I don't know, MTA is not that it's safe because it's less than 10 incident per day. Do you agree or disagree? And Andre's looking up to see the facts.
Why are kids carrying weapons to school?
No, I stated that many are feeling unsafe, especially if they're commuting.
You know what? You know, I, I, looking at the whole situation, I believe that, we feed into the media frenzy. Crime here, crime on the subways, crime. This is what's happening in schools. And because of the creation of the hysteria, people feel that I have to protect myself, And if you look at overall, the incidents in the subways have decreased.
Yes,
If you look at overall incidents in schools, they aren't as many, but it's that one instance that metastasizes into so many instances. That's why kids feel that, I have to protect myself.
No, we were looking at the data from June to December.
Right.
And it went 107% increase from the same time frame last year of weapons that's found in school. So I don't think it's just one incident. I think it's a series of things happening.
But what type of weapons are we talking about?
So John, what I was saying to her, right? Two things happened. One, they found 13 knives at Morrow and about the same at Midwood. Why?
Right.
Because they actually did a random search. These kids are always bringing knives to school. It's just that they didn't have a monitoring system set up for them to check for weapons. Now,
yeah, but Roger, but then truth be told, why are these kids bringing these knives to school?
And this is what I'm saying, right? So
are they actually engaging in the conflicts, or are they concerned about what they perceive could happen because of what maybe happened in an incident here or there, or because of the hysteria that is created by the media? So the media, bad news travels fast. Good news takes the local.
Okay, I agree with you with
that I agree. So here's what I think, right? A lot of these kids, first of all, my experience is that a lot of our black and brown boys, right, are number one in carrying the weapon to school than the females. It's both black and brown, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's an issue within itself. Why are the black and brown families that a lot of these kids, the violent component, because when you carry a weapon, right, it's a violent component. Whether you use it or not, you have it to use. That's what.
I don't think family knows. Some people, family might not know that they carry weapons.
I'm not even but I'm not even talking about the family knowing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, why are our black families carrying these weapons? And one of the things that I said is, children, they don't do what they're told, they do what you do. So if we ourselves are highly violent, our kids, right? Our kids see violence. And I'm going to go back to something that you said, John, that's so important. When we see in the media, right? When we see in the media, there's violence on the train. There's violence.
Can you hear Andre?
Yes, I can hear him.
All right, so let me just read this right here. At the subways, but so far in 2023, I've seen overall crime decline 3.9%. So 1,855 incidents this year from 9.
Say the number again.
To 1,855 incidents this year.
1,800. 1,800.
And 55 incidents this year.
Okay,
right?
good. Now,
So alarms were ever louder in public housing development. Crime was up 10.9% in October compared to the same period last year. Now, data also says that um, there's factors involved in that because depending on the organization that collects the data, it also the definition of violent acts, right? That also is that can lead to inconsistencies in reporting and then the availability of the data, right? So you might have certain agencies that release the crime data, but it might not be readily available on a monthly basis. So that's something to
Okay.
keep in mind.
So I just want to point out you have you have in a 12-month period, right? You have approximately 170 incidents. I'm not doing the math, but
1,800.
right, right, per month, where the ridership on a train, and if you take that, let me just do quick math, right? So you have 1885 divided by 12, right, is 157 divided by 30 is 5, right? It's 5 crimes. I'm not saying it's good. I'm definitely not saying it's good. But what I am saying is 5.2 5.24 act of violence per day on our system,
Mhm.
right? And if you take approximately, so five, what did I say? 5.24. We have 4 million travelers a day, divided by. I'm doing it wrong. So 5.24 divided by, right? 5.24 divided by 4 million.
Roderick, the bottom line is negligible. It's negligible.
It's negligible. Here's the data. So because people have certain fears, is the fear factor that people believe that the subway system is unsafe. So even if I take your saying, yours and Iger's saying, right? Empress, what was that? Empress Iger, right? Saying about people are not reporting. So let's double that. So let's take that same number and multiply it by 2, right? It's still 0.000002.6% of ridership see acts of violence. I mean, literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2.62 times 10 to the negative 6. There's really nothing happening on the subway. So the media wants to have something to talk about, right? There's really nothing happening.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that you need to walk on the train and flaunt your money, or walk on the train and start acting like you're a bad man. But the fact is, it's safe. The fact is, our schools are safe. But the media, like I'm using the word that John just used, the media is portraying this negligible data as if it was the norm. And then they have parents like yourself who's like, oh my God, it's not safe. But there's no
Because
evidence.
you know why? Because Doc, it fits into their narrative.
Exactly.
Because let's go down. Let's go to Iowa. Let's go to the Midwest states, and you look at where a lot of these mass killings occur in suburbia. And what is and most of these are either young white males who are committing these mass killings. However, they'll talk about Iowa, South Dakota. They're saying crime is so low. But if you break it down further, in comparison to the population that we have, we're right there with them.
Idra, good question. The answer is no, I would not.
Why?
Why
would
because
you
he
not
goes
let your 11-year-old?
Okay, because
What was the question? What's the question?
Roderick, would you let your 11-year-old son take the train to school?
And I said no.
Why?
Because he goes too far for school. He goes too far. My son is not. If he was in high school, I let him take the train to school. Absolutely. If he was going to
My
school,
daughter, my daughters they go to work on the train. They come home on the train.
Yeah. My high school. If King was going to junior high school, down the street, yeah, he would take he could take the bus or the train, but for him to go to school on the bus and train takes over an hour. Why would I do that? But it's not because of lack of safety, but it's more so if he was going to, let's say he's going to Eastern Parkway, right on the Utica Avenue line, you get on the bus and go to Utica Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
I would. But that's not where he goes. He goes to school. He goes to school
in Bay Ridge.
In Bay, actually, I don't even know if that's Bay Ridge or Diker Heights, but it's far as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I know I wouldn't put Cooper on the train, clearly because he's 8 years old.
Okay.
Right? But they're in high school, of course. I see some parents take their kids who are in high school to school. And then they struggle to get to work on time because of this fear factor.
I don't know if it's a fear factor.
And sometimes, you know what? Sometimes your children are too mixy themselves.
Are too what?
Mixy.
Mixy?
Yep. Sometimes we teach our children because of our own arrogance that we are above and beyond the rest. Right? And you know what? When they go outside in the real world, they figure out they're not what they think they are.
Mm.
And they will get their asses handed to them. Right? I've seen that happen too, as well. We have a couple commercials, I think, before we move on to our next topic. But
Footprints Cafes now offers Caribbean flatbreads, available in 11 mouth-watering flavors, including favorites like jerk chicken, curry chicken, honey garlic chicken or shrimp, ackee and saltfish, garlic cheese, and more. Our flatbreads are satisfying and can be enjoyed by the entire family. So make it a flatbread night at Footprints and enjoy the fusion of flavors. These flatbreads are so good, you might just have to fight for that last piece. Good thing there's plenty more where that came from. Get yours today from any of our Footprints locations. Want to enjoy your flatbread at home? Then order on Uber Eats and get it delivered right to your door. We'll see you there.
Call Howard Housing Solution today for all your real estate needs. Sellers, we can get top dollar for your home, and our vast network of professionals can facilitate your move and help you purchase your dream home in another state. Buyers, we have a pulse on the market and can get you in a home quickly. Property owners, we can manage your property efficiently and allow you peace of mind. So why wait? Call Howard Housing Solutions today at 646-825-5560 for your sale, purchase, or property management needs. Conveniently located in East New York, Brooklyn. You can come to us at 577 New Lots Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, or we can visit in the comfort of your home. Call Howard's Housing Solutions today at 646-825-5560. Howard Housing Solutions. Real estate simplified.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're brought to you by Grace Family Adult Social Daycare. Come on out. Bring yourself. Bring your spouse. Bring who you want to bring. Once they come out, Grace Family Adult Social Daycare. They're open every Tuesday and Thursday. For right now, everything is just on the house. I need to get up lunch myself. It is so called 646 504 5778 646 504 5778. Ask for Grace Family Adult Daycare, or you can call 347 962 7168. Again, that's 347 962 7168. Send us an email at Grace Family Adult at gmail.com, or check out the website at www.gracefamilyasdcare.com. If you're interested, you like to play dominoes, you think you can beat me. I was talking about it earlier. You want to play some some bingo. I'm not very good at bingo, so that maybe you beat me at, and a few card games. All right, so come on out and enjoy Grace Family, 1330 Utica Avenue. So, John, the United States is feeling a lot of pressure to
Why?
push ceasefire in the Gaza Strip.
Mm-hmm.
You think they're going to buckle? Are they going to do blind support of Israel straight through?
I think we might have a few more humanity pauses, strictly really depending upon how negotiations are going with respect to the hostages. So I think there's a combination of things that have to happen in order for the ceasefire to really come to fruition.
I think it isolates the United States because every other nation wants them to come to an end, and they are like, no, all the way through. So, is that a problem? Do you think that's a problem when the United States is the only one that's sticking there 100%?
No, I don't think so. I think because United States behind the scene is probably working with a couple of the other Arab countries like Qatar and hopefully Saudi Arabia to see if there can be another hostage exchange, which will create a whole ceasefire. But at some point in time, Hamas is going to run out of room. And are they willing to be totally obliterated or suffer the loss? Those are the things they have to consider.
United States, right now, more than 18,000 people, more than 18,000 people have been killed in Gaza. 50,000 injured. Not to mention the monetary loss for people that remain. Houses, homes.
But Roger, you know what? One woman, they had one of the Arab radio, radio news stations were there, and they were interviewing a woman from Gaza, an older woman, and she was just saying Hamas takes everything, food and everything coming for the people. They just take it. it's like to damn with our people. So the whole point was, what is this really about? The enrichment of of Hamas, or are we talking about the betterment for the people in Gaza?
The point is, this is why I said last week, and I say it again:
Mm-hmm.
either take out Hamas or stop this war.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, Hamas is going to survive if you don't take them out. They are going to insulate themselves, that the people who are part of the leadership, people who are part of the organization, is going to have, right? What do you know? A greedy king always makes sure that his palace is full of gold, right? And so you have to, in order to destroy that, you have to literally break into the palace and take that gold. What Israel is doing right now, like the indiscriminate bombing,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
the literal work that they're doing. It's not even like Hamas is bombing Israel. Hamas is basically defending itself against what Israel is doing in the Gaza Strip. And it's a problem.
That's
It's a
right.
problem because
Why is it? But Hamas knew full well this was going to happen when they did what they did.
Again, but Netanyahu knew that it was going to happen. So people keep excusing the fact that Netanyahu.
No one's excusing the fact with Netanyahu. No one is excusing the fact, and one can think about the convenience that he basically failed to pay attention to some of the intelligence that came from a year prior to this, because he underestimated they underestimated. However, he underestimated
I think it was a power seizure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Auntie Maureen, right? It was a power seizure on Netanyahu's part. He saw this as I'm going to sacrifice my Jewish people to push the issue of destroying Hamas and why I need to stay in power. I think that's you're going to have to convince me otherwise that he didn't sacrifice his people so that he could remain in power. And at the end of the day, what's going on in that strip, it's too many. It's like you're beating on a baby because they can't even fight back, and people are dying. And they
babies are dying. Babies, children is like wiped out.
What do these little babies have? I mean, what are you gonna come? I mean, the only good thing that's gonna come out of it if they start now, is that they might be able to provide jobs because they have to rebuild. They'll be able to provide some jobs. So if you're gonna want a job, go to Palestine. All right. So, and they're losing support. They're losing support from Europe. They're losing support from other countries that were backing them initially because they realize the humanitarian crisis that's going on.
Yeah, these people are thirsty. They're hungry.
But Roderick and Doc, how do you eliminate Hamas, who are amongst the Palestinian people in Gaza?
You destroy the head.
And how do you destroy the head when the head is right mixed into the people under the tunnels? What do you do? At some point in time, the people, like that elderly woman said, enough is enough. The people need to arise against Hamas and work together with other governments to rid Hamas.
But John, is it Israel's, United States, or anybody else? It's his responsibility to step in and destroy a government. I mean, let's think about it.
Roger, we know we're not into government building. We know that.
Exactly. So if we're not into government building, then we need to step out. We need to step out.
It's too late for that.
No, it's not. They had
Yeah.
a ceasefire. When did they have a ceasefire, John? What, 2 weeks ago or last week? They can have a ceasefire.
I'm not sure.
They kind of proved their
Yeah,
point.
2 weeks ago.
You have a ceasefire that leads to a truce.
But that's not happening right now.
It can. It can. You know, and they need to think about how that is going to work.
Mm.
And the thing is, they're losing support, a lot of support, like you mentioned. And when many others are saying enough, 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 and the United States is saying no, it's not enough, then are we looked upon as people who are supporting the elimination of a whole area? Are we viewed that way as well? Are we put in the same bracket?
Yeah, because I that's a good question, Dr. Brian. Because we're supporting them. So are we looked at as tyrants as well?
Mm-hmm. Because
Right.
we're providing the ammunition that, okay, if anyone come around, we're going to attack and let them continue to do what they're doing.
Exactly.
So how are we seen?
I think we're being seen like how people have always seen us, as a tyrant ourselves. Right?
Now, do you become a target because you're a tyrant?
I would say yes.
What do you think, John?
Of course. Of
So
course.
now, because of that, are we up? Our level is high because we're supporting two different wars from two different places, and we're spreading ourselves thin, would you say?
So, my colleagues,
Mm-hmm. Let's hear
you sound like the Republicans. You want to cut aid to Ukraine. Now you want to divest from Israel. Two strategic partners in the
Uh-huh.
Middle East and Europe to deal with a lot of issues that really impact the United States. So it's more than what you think, that it's just just a destruction of the people. Strategically, it's about the survival of us, America.
Is it? I don't know about all this.
I think that we have to use our strength. Ukraine is a different story. Ukraine is not the aggressor. Right? Ukraine is not the aggressor. But Israel is. Right? Israel is the aggressor. So I think it's two different conversations that we're having. Right? Because Israel can stop and do a ceasefire. We have control of that. Ukraine, in my mind, they're the victims. And it's going to be extremely difficult, because we know that with Ukraine, if we take our support, they're going to be crushed. They're going to be crushed by Russia and Putin. What I think for Ukraine is that they need to figure out a way how to build a coalition against the former USSR.
Well, that's why they were trying to be a part of the United Nations as well.
Right.
But guess what? They weren't accepted.
Right. And so that in itself is
problematic.
Yes, very much so.
So they're trying to defend themselves. They're trying to ask for support. They're trying to find funding. But guess what? What makes you qualified to say, hey, you could join a part of? What makes you Why? Why not? Because they don't want to burn bridges with Russia?
Well, the United States don't care about. I don't know if you agree with that, John. I don't think the United States cared that much about their relationship with Russia to that point. Yes, they're both powerhouses. One is a powerhouse in Europe, and United States is a powerhouse on the side of the side of the Atlantic, right? But I don't know that. I think, but what is the role of Ukraine? Ukraine is not France, right? Ukraine is not France. Ukraine is not England, right? Ukraine is not Italy or Germany, right? So their power structure in that region is not as important, for lack of.
So am I hearing that if the country or the nation is not that relevant and can contribute to or are seen as powerhouse, no investment will be made?
I'm not exactly saying that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that certain countries would disrupt the flow, right, of how things are in the world, right? Because they're responsible for whatever they're responsible for, large economy, large governmental support. They're responsible for much more things, while other countries are looking for support to stay alive, to stay above ground.
So relevancy.
Yes, but it's not that. But I'm not saying that you shouldn't defend a country. I'm saying how well that country's ability to garner support, right? Which is different, right? Great Britain and Northern Ireland can garner more support globally than a Ukraine. United States can garner more support globally than Great Britain. Right? So that's what I'm talking about. So the impact is different. That's why right now the issue that's going on in the Gaza Strip between Israel and Hamas is creating a major dysfunction, because Israel can garner that support. And that's why people are saying, Israel, you need to stop. Russia would need China, would need North Korea.
Now, what if Israel decides they don't want to stop? So what happens?
And they're going to lose support. Eventually, they're going to lose support. Right?
So what does that mean? Okay, they lose support. People aren't supporting the war no more for them or whatever.
They're going to have a global backlash.
Okay.
That's what they're doing. So now we'll turn from blah blah blah, get rid of Hamas, to you're the evil. You're evil. Right? In the war between Russia and Ukraine, you would need China, you would need North Korea, and a few other countries who are on the same scale as Russia, who are allies of Russia. Say, hey, dude, you need to stop. Iran, but these places don't like the United States.
So they don't care.
I don't know that they don't care, but it's a secondary issue, right? And the United, again, your allies are very strong.
Okay.
So that's interesting. Andre, did you queue up that song? Is that song ready to be played?
He said 5 minutes.
All right.
5 minutes.
So, and again, as you can see, you know, I didn't realize in our notes that the UN General Assembly votes overwhelmingly to demand a humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza.
Yeah, especially with killing over 18,000 people and having 50,000 wounded.
Yeah,
and not having water. That's a humanitarian issue.
Right. If you think about it, 193 people are part of the body. 153 countries voted in favor of a ceasefire, 10 against. I wonder who the 10 are. Right. 23 abstained. Right. So overwhelmingly, people are against the war. Right. So they're
I think some of the support that was once there is because they're seeing more and more kids dying in the war. So going from 100 and something to 18,000 dead, that's a huge difference. And then seeing that it's babies that's being...
I think it's not just the babies. You have your seniors, you have people...
Yes, but the key thing is babies are getting killed.
Right.
It's sad.
You know,
it is sad.
I feel sorry, right? I feel sorry for the government and
you know who I feel sorry for? I feel sorry for educators who actually are working in the field of education and have to hold their peace because, education is not a place for politics, but also you're slowly but surely, you're nervous, not slowly but surely, but you're nervous. When will the phone ring? When can I hear from my family? When is certain things happening? And you have to be present. So I do feel for those who haven't heard from their family because there's no form of communication. Waiting patiently to see if your family member is alive. It is a pain that we don't understand. And we sympathize with individuals going through this.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy, right? It's kind of crazy overall that these things are happening in our time. When you think that people have become more civilized, people have become more caring, more compassionate about what's going on. Moving on.
Good night. Good night. Lord bless you, Myrtle Francis. Good night, and thank you for joining us.
Hey, Sister Myrtle, how's everything going?
I know everybody's happy to see you, Roger.
Yes.
You have energy. You're awake and alert for us. So we're excited.
I actually got up this morning after 9, so I've been up literally downstairs since after 9 this morning.
Wow.
Let me hear Annette Hall.
It's a season of cheer, and as we celebrate, let us remember Jesus is the reason for the season.
Yeah.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Can you hear the sound? Christmas bells are ringing in the air. Glory, hallelujah, Christ is born. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. It's a season of cheer. There is happiness in the air. Can you hear the sounds of Christmas bells ringing? Jesus is the reason for the season. Can you hear the sound? Christmas bells are ringing in the air. Glory, hallelujah, Christ is born. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. The angels in heaven sing praises. Glory to God in the highest. Peace on earth, goodwill to all men. Jesus is the reason for the season. Can you hear the sound? Christmas bells are ringing in the air. Glory, hallelujah, Christ is born. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. Sing down, rejoice, sing down, rejoice, sing down, rejoice. Jesus is the reason for the season. Sing down, rejoice, sing down, rejoice, sing down, rejoice. Jesus is the reason for the season. Can you hear the sound? Christmas bells are ringing in the air. Glory, hallelujah, Christ is born. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. Glory, hallelujah, Christ is born. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. Ting tong, 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 ting tong.
Jesus
All
is
right.
for the season.
Yes, he is. Yes,
Let
he is.
rejoice, let us rejoice and rejoice. Um, that is so poignant, so poignant. I also, like you, as you begin to show, you tell me that you celebrated Christmas, and I too celebrate Christmas. I also celebrate and recognize Kwanzaa
Mhm.
as well. Um, I'm not a fan of Hanukkah. I don't even understand it, but I do know that people celebrate it, and you're out there. All I ask, one thing I don't like in certain religion, and I see it all the time,
Mhm.
we can't learn
Others?
to respect other faith.
Mm.
Like I've seen certain religions where they ignore Good Friday, right? They ignore Good Friday. And I'm like, but it's not out. Yeah, but you have to respect our, just like I think, you know, Passover happens around the same time. And we as Christians have to respect Passover and give the same. You don't have to go out and do what the Jews do to celebrate Passover. But if I'm a Jew and it's Passover, you
Mhm.
shouldn't question me taking the holiday.
Mhm.
And if you're a Jew, that you shouldn't expect me to work on Good Friday,
Mhm.
right?
But the holiday calendar and certain
You know,
systems were built on just one religion.
you know. And what I also find is that a lot of religions tend to have their holidays close to each other,
Mhm.
right? To make the major religion, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. Like I personally, I always tell a Jewish man, don't ask me to work on a Sunday, because if I ask you to work on a Saturday, you're gonna have a problem. So don't ask me to work on a Sunday. Oh, don't ask me to work on a Sunday. Yeah, it's the same level of respect, right? I tell
And what
Uh,
was the response?
I mean, I'm being anti-Semitic. I don't care. You call them whatever you want. But I'll tell also on El Eid Iftar, I want to make sure that the people know respect the holiday. They're not going to be a lot of kids in school. You cannot hold them responsible. You can't, it's not right. Right. So I hold very strongly to the respect of other people's beliefs. But I don't like the blocking off of the. All right. Hold on a second. I can't find the remote, and I just turned on the TV by mistake. Hold on.
Oh boy.
Can you hear it?
Yes, we can. Only Roderick.
Yeah, I don't know where it is, but it's here somewhere on the chair.
Now, what's been happening over the last 24, 36 hours?
Found it. I was sitting on it. All right. So very excited about that. Annette, great song. Great song. Keep it up. Keep up the strong work. Andre, I think we're ready for commercial, I believe.
Call Howard Housing Solution today for all your real estate needs. Sellers, we can get top dollar for your home, and our vast network of professionals can facilitate your move and help you purchase your dream home in another state. Buyers, we have a pulse on the market and can get you in a home quickly. Property owners, we can manage your property efficiently and allow you peace of mind. So why wait? Call Howard Housing Solutions today at 646-825-5560 for your sale, purchase, or property management needs. Conveniently located in East New York, Brooklyn. You can come to us at 577 New Lots Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, or we can visit in the comfort of your home. Call Howard's Housing Solutions today at 646-825-5560. Howard Housing Solutions. Real estate simplified.
Footprints Cafes now offers Caribbean flatbreads, available in 11 mouth-watering flavors, including favorites like jerk chicken, curry chicken, honey garlic chicken or shrimp, ackee and saltfish, garlic cheese, and more. Our flatbreads are satisfying and can be enjoyed by the entire family. So make it a flatbread night at Footprints and enjoy the fusion of flavors. These flatbreads are so good, you might just have to fight for that last piece. Good thing there's plenty more where that came from. Get yours today from any of our Footprints locations. Want to enjoy your flatbread at home? Then order on Uber Eats and get it delivered right to your door. We'll see you there.
We're also brought to you by Grace Families Adult Social Daycare. Please bring your elderly out. Mental health is very important. There's going to be a nice Christmas dinner, for you to come out and celebrate. Call
347. That
right?
one, I see it.
646-504-5778. Also, you can call 347-962-7168. Come on out. If you have Medicaid, Medicaid accept you, free transportation if you need transportation. So call in, come play some dominoes, get some good work. So, Donald Trump, Donald Trump is now selling part of his suit, right? He's now selling
NFT.
And it's kind of funny because I think back when he got his mugshot taken,
He was selling that too.
right? We spoke about how that could work for his benefit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's now selling his mugshot as a trading card to NFT, a trading company, right?
The man is desperate.
For $99 per card. So if you want to support Donald Trump's campaign for president, you could purchase his mugshot. And if you purchase 47 of them, if you purchase 47 cards,
Of the same card.
yeah, you will get both dinner and a physical trading card that includes a piece of his suit. Can you believe? I mean, to me, like, it's like, is this desperate or not?
Pathetic is what it is. Pathetic.
Why?
But this is
Why
the
is it pathetic?
same gentleman running for president of the United States.
Why is it pathetic?
It is, because the thing is, you're selling anything to get money to say you're, remember, he's a billionaire. Now he's selling anything. Oh, I want to showcase my mugshot. To do what? To pay for your troubles, your mounting amount of legal troubles? It is pathetic.
But if you buy 100, you get a private cocktail reception with hey, listen.
Okay, so you go buy your $100.
But if you think about it, right? If you think about it,
Mhm.
Donald Trump has a lot of power. Right?
Mhm.
He swings a big stick, right? If this is your opportunity to get him in a one-on-one, why is it a bad idea?
Would I do it?
I'm
Absolutely.
not saying you. I know you won't do it,
Mhm.
but you wouldn't
He
do it
has
for
some fanatics. He has some fanatics who will do it.
you wouldn't do it for a Democrat either, so it wouldn't matter, right? So that's not relevant.
Oh,
Think
I
about-
don't
think
know.
about-
I haven't seen anybody that I'm really interested
I've known
in.
you. I haven't spent
But I
$5,000.
haven't seen anyone that I'm interested in. So
I have not spent $5,000 on any political venture, right?
Mhm.
I mean, on giving somebody $5,000.
Mhm.
I've given a couple hundred, but never 5,000, right?
Mhm.
So I won't do it. But if you but if you have a business
Mhm.
that you need to flourish, you live in you get to take a picture with Donald Trump and post that picture of you and yourself. It's advertisement. You put it on TikTok, on Instagram.
Would you say he's the funniest president?
He's a what?
The funniest president?
What I think is, I don't know. I've never thought about his sense of humor, so I wouldn't be able to answer that.
So I'm
I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at the financial benefit of someone actually looking at the opportunity and utilizing that. That's what I'm looking at. It might sound crazy, but somebody had to think of this gimmick and think about why it would work.
Okay. Well, they're promoting it, so they're doing their job. They're
Think about
doing
it.
the marketing. They're marketing left and right.
Think about
Everywhere
it.
you go.
If 100 people does the
Contribute.
full, if 100 people does the full gift 100 gift card, 100 people does it, do it, right? He raised $999,000. $990,000. Did I get it right? Yeah, $990,000. So think about that. All it takes is 100 people to do it.
So are you going to be one of the 100 people to do
That's
it?
not the point of what I'm saying. I'm saying if you think about it, right, is it such a bad thing? All he needs is 100 people to do it, and he's good.
Okay.
100 people to buy 100 cards. Right? Okay. So is there something? Yeah.
See, you know who I would be excited to see? Besides Barack Obama?
I'm
George
listening.
W. Bush.
George W. Bush.
I like Bush. I do. I do. It's working in Congress.
Right. Okay, so look at
For his endorsement. I wouldn't
Look at-
purchase his mugshot even if I ran out.
no, but think about it. But wait,
Policies for leading is opposed. That's true. You're right, Eddie.
no, but listen to read his first line.
It's working in Congress. Republicans are still selling their soul for his endorsement. I absolutely believe that. Because
And so therefore, I agree because Eddie is staunchly against Donald Trump. So therefore, I'm not even going to donate $25 to his campaign. Right? That's not even going to happen. Right? So at the end of the day, the gimmick might work for that guy in Congress. What's that crazy woman name again? Marjorie Taylor Greene.
right? Yeah.
She might be a person who purchased.
She'll purchase it. All of them actually, because they're pushing. For example, let's look at Hunter Biden. They're pushing the impeachment for the president, stating that he benefited from Hunter Biden. They want impeachment because it's a tit for tat. Oh, he impeached Donald Trump, so we're going to impeach him. They don't even have enough information, but we're going to impeach him.
You know, Doc, I agree with you, right? And so here's my question. At which point there needs to be they need to have an independent third counsel who say, hey there, young buck, what you're doing right now is not governmental procedures.
Well, right now they're stopping everything to adhere to him immunity.
And every time you tell them every time, which I do love that about the Republicans though, because I saw today how the Democrats are fighting against Joe Biden about the border, right? The Republicans, as bad as it may be, they're jumping together on the bandwagon.
They stick together. They're going to go down with the train. We all going down. That's it.
They have zero evidence about what he has done for impeachment. And when you speak to any one of them, they have made zero. I mean, like I've watched Fox News. I've watched MSNBC. I've watched CNN. I've listened to the Republicans. And I've not heard a single person.
You're not convinced?
Make a connection as to why they should follow through with the impeachment process. And somebody has to say, you can't do that.
Oh, they have to waste money. Come on. They have to waste money. They have to waste taxpayers' money.
I don't think it's you impeaching Trump.
It's a tit for tat. They have to. Their goal is to stain as much as possible Joe Biden so that his run, oh, we could throw this, you were impeached, or your son stole money, or your son created this, or so that is the agenda. If we can stain and say that he is not for the country, he's spending money, he's doing this, he's his child is a criminal, and look at this man whose child is a criminal, you want him to run the United States? That's the angle that they're aiming for.
Interesting. I was thinking that when Clinton got impeached in his second term, should the Democrats had to impeach George Bush in his second term, especially after that ill-gotten war in Afghanistan to kill Saddam Hussein? Just think about that as we're speaking, like as tit for tat. But Democrats.
The reason why I say that I like that man, he had me laughing the entire time. There was a joke on Leonard every single night that I look forward to watching the craziness and the jokes that was coming out of it. I haven't seen a comedian that can actually, they put a couple things for Donald Trump, but it wasn't as much as George Bush. And that I look, he gave me laughter every night. So, can I complain? Absolutely not. So it originally, I remember some people didn't take Donald Trump when he was running. He would crack up. Oh, he's, putting this on Twitter. He's putting that on Twitter. It was so funny. Oh, there's no way this man is serious. No, he was serious. And people weren't taking him seriously. They were, but they weren't. And he won.
Yeah, I think they were taking him seriously. They knew exactly what they were getting into. Just quickly, we have a few more minutes, and so we want to talk about the migrant issue, right?
Okay.
Before I get to the migrant issue, they're gonna redo redistricting in New York City, New York State.
Are you excited about that? Or
Yes
do you
and
think
no.
it's more confusion?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I think that the Democrats screwed up, and now there's an opportunity to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So fix redistricting in a way that would help your state. But the no is that they're going to go through all these hearings again. People are going to have to come out and testify. People are going to have to spend more time doing political surveys and spending some more of the state money. But at least this way you get it.
What about some of the people who just won? They're going to be going against other people who were just elected?
Yes. So if they redistrict and you and I fall in the same district and we're both in Congress, we can either run in the next district or run against each other in this district. So absolutely.
So more confusion.
That's what happened with a few people, especially in
How they got bumped, right?
Got bumped, yes.
Mm-hmm. And it's taxpayers' money again, right?
Yeah, but it also affects it also affects city council. It also affects city council. It affects all levels. Before we continue on this, the community board, which I represent, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any toys, you can drop them off 4112 Albany Avenue. They're in need of toys for the toy drive. So 4112 Utica Avenue.
I thought you said Albany.
Albany Avenue. Thank you for the correction.
Okay.
I was just making notice.
4112 Albany Avenue. What time tomorrow? Is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow afternoon, all day. Please come in. Wrap toy, age group, sex, wrapped, right? And it's 4112 Farragut Road.
Oh,
again,
boy.
4112.
So third address. Third is a charm. 4112 Farragut Road. Not Albany, not Utica. 4112 Farragut Road. All right.
Yes.
I'm glad you got your phone out.
Please, and also there's a tree lighting ceremony as well. So if you want to come out, come get some hot cocoa, a donut or two. Come on out to 4112
Farragut Avenue. All right.
Road tomorrow afternoon. The ceremony starts between 5 and 7. If you have a choice, you can come a little bit earlier. And thank you, Gail, for putting the right address up on screen.
What time again? Can you repeat the time? So
the event starts at 5, from 5 to 7.
5 to 7. Mm-hmm.
Right. But if you have a toy, you can come a little bit earlier. Come and enjoy some hot cocoa, some coffee.
Will there be music?
Yeah, we hope there'll be a little bit of music for people to enjoy.
All right, all right. So, which is great. Manhattan have their tree and everything. Queens have their place. Now Brooklyn have their place. I love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So do come out and enjoy. So like I was saying, with the
The
redistricting,
migrants.
the redistricting,
Mhm.
the New York State Court of Appeals voted 4-3 to that was actually a very close vote. That's why you always have to have an odd number in favor of revisiting the redistricting. Um, right? It overturned last year's decision by the court. So now we're going to have a whole bunch of different places. It's going to affect a lot of people in politics. It's funny, when I just got involved in politics, New York had 32 congressional seats. Now we're down to 26. People are leaving New York in droves.
Say that
Inflation.
again. Repeat that again. Repeat that again. Please repeat that again.
People are leaving New York in droves. It's just too expensive in New York.
Okay.
And they want to move to the right to own a gun state, which New York is not. So
No, they want to move somewhere that's not charging congestion pricing. They want to move somewhere that's not going to charge for you to honk your horn as somebody's about to cut you off. They want to move somewhere that they're not being forced to pay more for rent and light and electricity and everything, that every 2 minutes they're raising the LIPA is going up and this is going up and that is going up, but your salary is not going up as high as everything else.
I agree with you, except for I don't think people care about the honk and the horn, but I agree with everything else. You want to hear a joke? You want to hear a joke?
It's like the red light camera, but now it's a noise.
Oh, and that's illegal.
Camera.
I think we're going to do a show.
That's what it is.
We're going to talk about that next
camera.
week. Yes, we're going to talk about that next week. I forgot. Andrew, remind me to have you call a guest for next week.
About the noise?
No,
about the
cameras.
About congestion pricing? That
I don't know. All right. I'll tell you a joke, right? So somebody sent me a WhatsApp video.
Okay.
So you know that they're raising minimum wage from $15 to $16, right? Mm-hmm. So the person sent me the joke where the person went to McDonald's and to buy a Big Mac meal, a large number one, his receipt came out to $16.10.
So where's the extra 10 cents?
No, that's not the point. Minimum wage is $16 and at McDonald's, and then the meal is $16.10. So you have to work more than an hour to purchase a meal at a place. So what's the point of giving me a pay increase? It is the stupidest thing. So I'm paying $16 plus for number one.
Number one. Right?
So gas gone up, like all those things that you mentioned. So yeah, now your paycheck says if you work 37 and a half hours in a week, right? And you get half an hour lunch that you don't get paid for, right? If you work 37 and a half hours, you make $600 a week. But rent gone up, gas gone up, bus fare gone up, congestion pricing gone up, camera gone up, that gone up. But then I feel so much better. I'm making more money, right? The last thing is the migrants. Andrew Cuomo is telling Joseph Biden and Washington that they're responsible for the migrants. I fully endorse that 100%. But Congress is very red right now, and that's not going to happen. Right? They're not going to happen. I do think that there has to be more control about the migrants. I don't care if it's looked at as a humanitarian issue. It's just too much, and there's an economic burden on New York City and many of these sanctuary cities. So and a lot of the migrants are getting thrown out of the shelters. All right, I guess they have one more week after Christmas before they have to go. So there's two issues unless the government finds money. So now what's going to happen is that the homelessness, crime is, and this is a fear factor, but crime is probably going to go up because more people are living on the street, right? They need to survive. And so to me, that's going to cause some major issues with what's happening around the world. So the
And
first
you know
one,
that also impact education, because if they're moving from place to place, guess what? If your child is in a school in Brooklyn, but they have to move to the Bronx or they have to move to Queens, it's going to be a mess.
yep.
It's
And
going to be a mess.
you know,
So,
we're just givers, but we're not givers of the right individuals. So that's a problem. But ladies and gentlemen, what are we gonna do? Don't forget to support the toy drive, 4112 Farragut Road, tomorrow between 5 and come out. Make sure you put on a nice warm coat.
oh, Roger, there's one
Yeah.
more thing happening. You know, there's the hearing for the mayoral control. That's
Oh,
coming
yes.
up on Monday, December 18th. It will be in Queens, Thomas A. Edison Korean Technical High School. That's 165-65 84th Avenue in Jamaica, New York. So come on out and go to the site. Go to the state site. Register if you want to speak about it, if you want to discuss it, because the structure and your input is important. So come on out.
Amen. Happy birthday to my aunt. Happy belated birthday to both two aunts. We celebrated their birthday last week. And to Mabel and to Rose. I know there's something going on this weekend. But make sure you do enjoy your time. Also want to tell everybody do pray for me. I have a test coming up next week. Hopefully this energy will last and everything. The numbers are great. We have that on Tuesday before our next show. If I find out before the show ends, I'll share.
We're speaking life, my friend.
Right.
Healing in life. That's what we're speaking. Because we, in spite of your big mouth, we need you back inside of the studio physically. So I don't have to come and I could be at home and do my
No,
thing.
you need to come to the studio so I can bother you. And thank you, Dr. Brian. Thank you, Kayan, Bishop Hardin, all of my friends out there who are prayed for me, sent up prayers. A lot of people have come to visit me. Thank you to everyone who have made a donation. I appreciate that as well. So to all of you, everybody out there, I thank you and looking forward to speaking to you next week. Hopefully I have the same amount.
Great news. That's what we're doing.
All right. So God bless each and every one of you. So thank you for watching, sharing, participating on The Village. If you have not subscribed yet, please do subscribe. Where we are dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education. Helping each one of us to realize in our dreams at any age and any point, starting your success is not just spoken, it is done. I am Roger Bailey, your host. Join me, Dr. Joanne Bryant, our co-hostess, Dr. John L. Sampson, our co-host, our executive producer, Andrea Doman, and our producer, Sophie Willis. God bless each and every one of you. Enjoy the rest of the week.
Good night.